Hey everyone, Dan here from Heavy Metals. Happy Sunday. Today we're going behind bars. We're going to talk about the 10-ounce bar and why I feel it's the best bar to stack, especially if you're a new stacker. So for me, I started stacking these bars up top here, Royal Canadian Mint bars, some of the best bars out there. And I started stacking them at like $14 to $17 an ounce. So as you can imagine, I got great deals on these. And even when they started jacking up the premium on them, I still got a great deal because silver was so cheap at the time. Now, I started saying to myself, look, let me start accumulating ounces as fast as possible. So the 10-ounce bar is the best way to do it, in my opinion. And then I started saying, let's just go real hyper speed with accumulating ounces. So I got the Texas Mint 10-ounce generic bars, and they're definitely generic bars compared to the Royal Canadian Mint. Okay, and then this bar right here, what is it, Silvertown? I believe it is Silvertown. Definitely a generic 10-ounce bar. Then this one here, Helen of Troy. This I got when silver was around $35, $40 an ounce. I sensed it climbing, and I said, wait a minute, let me just get one more 10-ounce bar. I feel like something's going to happen. And sure enough, right after that, silver exploded from $50 to $60 to $70 an ounce. And that's when I started getting worried, because I said to myself, okay, now it's going to be harder to get these 10-ounce bars in the future. But if you are a new stacker and you want to start stacking, I highly recommend. Of course, it's not financial advice, you know, all that jazz, but I gotta tell you, 10-ounce bars, pretty good way to go. And let me learn something on you for a second. You take a bar, right? Look at that, hear that. The sound of silver clanging. You will find 0 silver stackers who don't like that sound. Like that. And then, why do we call ourselves stackers? Well, we can take them and we can stack them. Look at that. Yeah. Nice stack, right? And of course, if some of you don't like getting the bars in the paper, in the plastic, you can get them without it. You know, it's I guess it would be considered aftermarket, something like that. And if you're a new stacker and you think 10-ounce bars are a lot of money, there's something about the 10-ounce bar that I feel has a psychological effect on people, because once you have a 10-ounce bar, there's nothing like it. You know what I mean? And at any point, I could probably take these bars and convert them all into like an ounce of gold or a half ounce of gold, whatever it's going to yield me at the time. But I don't. I keep the 10-ounce bars. Imagine if these were all 10-ounce gold bars. Would you really want to trade them? Probably not. Unless you needed to cash them out, which why would you want to be in US dollars? That's disgusting, right? Cash is trash, but it's also king. Cash is king when you are building cash for an opportunity. But it's trash because you know it's not going to yield you what other asset classes will. So as soon as you get the accumulated amount, you get rid of it, right? You got to buy gold, silver, and when it comes to like houses, like real estate, you got to put it in, as they call it, steel and glass, right? So when it comes to like rental real estate. Now, another thing about 10-ounce bars, premium is lower compared to 1-ounce rounds or 1-ounce bars or American Silver Eagles, things like that. American Silver Eagles, if you're a new stacker, maybe get you one, because they're nice. They're beautiful coins, but the premium it's never really been friendly, but now even more so. It's crazy now, right? Get you some close up on that. All right, another thing, 3 9s fine. No, is it 3 9s or? Oh, okay, yeah. 4 9s fine silver, 3 9s fine silver. I believe this is 3 9s. Yeah, 3 nines fine silver, and of course, ooh, nice sound. And of course, 4 nines fine silver. Why does that matter? A lot of people tried to tell me when I was first stacking, it doesn't matter. It matters, okay? The purity of the silver matters, okay? And we just learned that. When silver went to $120 an ounce, okay, a lot of people went into their attic, their basement, whatever. They got their silverware, their actual silverware, any trinkets they had, in their china cabinet, right? And of course, the people who were stacking 90% silver, aka junk silver, aka constitutional silver, okay? And they went to the coin shops, and the coin shops did take them. They did take them for a while, but then the refineries who were taking the 90% silver and the sterling silver from the coin shops got backed up. They got so backed up and overworked and overloaded that they said, okay, we're not going to take the 90% stuff anymore. We're going to only take pure silver. Pure. Okay? And that is where I said, I knew it. I knew not to buy junk silver. Now, if you like junk silver, that's cool and everything, but I'm starting to believe that constitutional silver and all that has a little less value than we thought, right? I'd rather have bullion, bars, rounds, pure coins, I mean, that's why I love the Royal Canadian Mint over the U.S. Mint, because a Canadian maple leaf is 4 nines fine silver. An American Silver Eagle is 3 nines fine. But of course, the American Silver Eagle is world renowned as the #1 coin to stack in the whole world. So, there's that too. But we learned the hard way to not, to not regard 90% silver and constitutional silver, aka junk silver, as one of the holy grails or whatever. So that told me everything I needed to know about that, and I'm so happy that I did not start stacking that. And I know what I just said is very controversial, and people are going to be upset with me in the comments, but I gotta tell you, I took that and I said, wow, refineries aren't taking it. So, yeah, for future reference, stack the pure stuff, because you never want to get in a situation where people aren't going to want to take it if you need to sell. Okay. Now, 10-ounce bars, as I've said in previous videos, it's probably the threshold as to if you want to look for an ordinary person or a coin shop or a convention, that if you're looking to sell, 10-ounce bars are probably the safest, bigger bullion that you can sell. If you got a 20-ounce, 50-ounce, kilo, whatever, that's a 100-ounce. It's kind of hard to get rid of them, because of the simple fact that you need to find a buyer who's willing to buy a 100-ounce bar, 50-ounce bar, 30-ounce bar, right? The Scottsdale Mint has those amazing 20-ounce tombstone bars, those long bars. I definitely want to get one of those at some point, but I stack for me. I stack for me before I do anything else, So there are things, like I showed in my previous video, the Australian koala, the kilo. I'll showcase that a little more down the line. But that kilo I got for the sole purpose of stacking for me and accumulating ounces. I did not do it just to look to resell. Now, premium. We must talk about premium a little more. Premium, let's look down here. I have these from the Cook Islands. I love the Cook Islands. They are just amazing, mint, right? Sunshine Mint through the Cook Islands, by the way. But I just love like the ship looking stuff. You know what I mean? Look at that. That's so cool. I love that. But there's like a 3 ounce, there's like a 100 gram or something like that. But the premium is higher because you're getting smaller, and the resale value is higher because you're able to get rid of it. It's small, right? But if you're looking for the most bang for your buck, do not get these. Get the 10-ounce bars. And if you can't afford 10-ounce bars now because of the price of silver these days, which is around, what is it? It's 74 or something. Get 5-ounce bars, right? 10 ounce, 5 ounce. But I love these 10 ounces. 10 ounces, beautiful. And of course, Royal Canadian Mint. Amazing security features, right? You know that this is real. You know it's real. 4 nines, fine. Beautiful. All right. This has been Dan with Heavy Metals. Let me know what you think about bars, what you're stacking. Post a comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're doing pretty good with subscribers. We want to rack those numbers up. And I've been putting out a series of YouTube shorts. They've been gaining some pretty good traction. So if you haven't checked those out, make sure you check those out. I'm just showcasing some of the more collectible coins and things like that. So yeah, 10-ounce bars, generic bars mostly. Stack what you can. This has been Dan with Heavy Metals.